Hello and welcome to the u0026 YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at the new anticipated new Series 2 LS400 and WS400. Just briefly, we're going to look at the three guns in the range. We have firstly with the LS400, which is in a striking green adjusters and air cap ring. That's your HVLP version. Your compliant version WS400 comes in a striking blue, electric blue adjusters and air cap ring. And lastly but not leastly, your clear coat comes in a gunmetal grey and adjuster, which distinctively says that's for clear coat. We're going to go into these a little bit more in depth in the video later on, but that's your first look at the three guns in the range. So in the range we have two coatings. Firstly, we have the non-digital version, which comes in the Twilight Chrome. The Twilight Chrome is what you see on pretty much every honesty water spray gun in the past, and that's what we class as the standard gun. In the digital version, we now have what's called a PVD coating. This gives the gun a very hard-wearing, scratch-resistant coating, plus looking very striking. The coating looks a little bit darker, a little bit more smoked in its colour, so a very distinctive look. But between the two, it means now you have two options. Your non-digital means you put an inline gauge in there to check your pressure, and your digital version means you check the pressure here with a new digital gauge, which we'll focus on a little bit later in the video. In the past, people would remove the nozzle and try and lever out the baffle with a screwdriver. This would damage the gun and in effect would damage its performance. On the Series 2, we've added distinctive markings to say on the gun, around the baffle, please do not try to remove this part. It's quite distinctive, but it's also sending the message to the end user, this part does not need removing, so do not try to remove it. On the Series 1, the air valve seat set construction was like this. So what you would have is you would have a large hole and then a very cylinder slit hole, so inconsistent and different shapes. If this was seated into the right way, the air distribution would be absolutely perfect. But when people removed it and replaced it with a new one, they sometimes would over tighten it. They didn't know how far to go, and sometimes at the front it would compress and lose its shape. One thing, this would maybe cause an air leak because they'd over tightened it too much. Another point, maybe where it sat would change the air distribution flow through the gun. On the Series 2 now, we have a modified and improved air valve seat set construction. Now the airs are larger and more consistent all the way around. This means when it's in the gun, the air flow is greater and obviously more consistent. But also as well now, when you screw it in as a stop, you can't over tighten it. It sits in the same place every time. Once you tighten it, it stops, set, which means the airflow is absolutely balanced through the gun at all times. So if we screw this back in now, we put this back into the gun, you screw it in and stop. You can't over tighten it, stop. In the past with the Series 1, you would tighten it and tighten it and tighten it and compress it too much. It would make the front look oval, which means you'd get air leakage, and then that would affect the performance. With Series 2 now, when you tighten it in, stop, you know when it stops, you can't over tighten it, it's set. That also gives you the correct airflow through the gun and the correct balance. This is a big step forward in Series 2 over Series 1. It improves its performance, it improves its stability, and it also improves its supply of air from the A to B, the front of the gun. So big step forward. Now on the Series 2 we have what's called Split Nozzle 2.0. What this means is we've improved the stability of the split nozzle application performance. How we've done this is, as I said before, not only about the air valve seat set and the holes being larger and where they seat and set so the airflow distribution is correct through the spray gun. When you get to the front of the spray gun now, the split nozzles sit exactly in the right way. The splits are in line with the atomizing holes, so you get the true performance every time. On Series 1, sometimes in the past, if you didn't quite tighten that up right, or you tried to over tighten it and tighten it too hard, the splits weren't in line, they were slightly out. So what that meant is if you had a combination of the airflow going for the air valve seat set wrong because it's been over tightened and crushed, so the holes aren't in line, which means the airflow through the gun's not right, and also as well the nozzle is being over tightened and the splits aren't in line, you then got a performance deviation and also reduction in some points. Now with the Series 2, because the air valve seat set is always in line, it's got to stop. You can't over tighten it. So the airflow through the gun is correct to the front of the gun. And also with 2.0, also those nozzles line up every time, always in line. This means you're going to get a maximum flow and a maximum performance out of the gun every time you use it. So this is a big step forward, performance and also application. We're now going to move on to the adjustment system on the gun, the new adjustment system on Series 2. So in the past, on Series 1, people used to make comments about how they used to have to wind the pattern in to find that fine, sweet spot they were looking for. Depending on the climates and conditions of the circumstances, sometimes the pattern was too big for them. So they used to wind that pattern in to try and find where they were happy. On the Series 2 now, we've worked very hard on getting an out-the-box experience. So everything fully open, pattern open, fluid open, to get exactly what you want, straight out the box, away you go, plug and play. What we've done, also on the Series 2, we've worked hard on, if you do require a bit of adjustment, we've incorporated now what's called a linear adjustment system. This means as soon as you start to turn, it starts to respond. As I said on the Series 1, when you used to wind it in, you would turn in 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, and sometimes nothing seemed to be happening. With this, as soon as you turn in on the Series 2 linear adjustment, it starts to change the size straight away. It's very responsive. It's a very responsive system, and this is called the linear adjustment system. So generally, on a standard anti-water gun, you would have a standard inline gauge like this. So non-digital with an inline pressure gauge on the bottom. On your standard non-digital version, as we say, we still have this. You can still have a gauge incorporated. But on this now we have an improved gauge called the HVC gauge. It gives you a more controlled air pressure reading when using an inline gauge. So that's your standard gun with a standard gauge system. Now we move on to the new Series 2 digital gauge. As you can see now, the gauge is in the handle. It's incorporated in the handle. This does not affect the ergonomics. It's exactly the same shape as the non-digital, all worked in and incorporated, refined in the shape of the gun. But the most important part of this now is how it works. As you can see, it's built into the handle, it's incorporated, it doesn't change any of the ergonomics or style or the balance of the feel of the gun. The way this works is we now twist, remove, put it down, lift it up, slot it back in, locate. Very easy. So again, turn, twist, fit, back. Very easy. What that's for is when it comes to the cleaning process, so you're not getting solvent inside the internal workings or all over the screen or potentially damaging the gauge, you can remove it, put it on the gun wash machine, we put a clamp on for cleaning, it cleans, comes out dry, clean, gauge back on, away you go. Very, very easy. Take the gauge off, in the back you have 2 screws, take the screws out, that's where your battery is. Screws out, replace the battery, put the screws back, good to go again. So again, refit, straight away working correctly. So again, from a maintenance point of view, low cost and also very easy to replace the parts if required. Another important point of the Series 2 is our air cap design. Our air caps are what we call conical shaped. The conical shape means that it's domed. This means that the air sweeps across the front, keeping the air cap cleaner longer. It means that paint doesn't build up on the front, and when it builds up, eventually flicks off as a spit and lands into the paint job that you're doing. Our competitors have what's called inclines. It's the opposite way. This means there's a void of air in the centre of the cap. It also means that the paint builds up a lot quicker and means you get those gun spits. So on all the range of our water equipment, we have the conical designed cap system. This is very important for cleanliness and also for application and keeping those jobs cleaner all the time, every time. If we really focus on the three guns in the range, firstly we have the LS400 for base coat application, we have the WS400 for base coat application, and we have the WS400 for clear coat application. So if we move away the LS400 for one moment and we focus on these two. So what we have now is we have a designated base coat and a designated clear coat. So with Series 1 in the past, we had one air cap that did both base coat and clear coat application, 0-1. That's fine, but what you tend to find is that when you're focusing on trying to get base coat application right, and then you move to clear coat has suffered a little bit. So you try and get clear coat right, and then that has an effect on the base coat application. So trying to get one's a bit of a trade-off where the happy medium is in the middle. On Series 2, we focused on having different air caps for different applications. So now for Series 2 WS400 clear coat, it has a designated clear coat air cap. So it means we'll be able to focus on getting the application of clear coat just right. An out-the-box experience, soft edges, fullness of the pattern, long and flat and even, really nice. On base coat the same. It means now we can focus on base coat and we can work on having a number of different air caps for base coat application because we can focus on that because we don't have to worry about clear coat on the same air cap. So now in the range of WS400 compliant, we now have a range of different air caps for different paints, brands and different applications. Another area of the Series 2 that we spent a lot of time considering to improve is the trigger action. We've now moved the central pivot point. We've also increased at the back a buffer system. This means we have a more smoother, refined trigger action to the gun, and also when feathering the trigger, it's more responsive, and also it has a nicer feel to it. It means that the trigger isn't as sloppy and it's more responsive. So another point of the gun, just a fine improvement, but an important improvement to the new Series 2. So that brings the features and benefits video to a close. In future videos, we're going to be focusing more in greater detail on its performance. We're going to look at its application properties, we're going to look at the droplets, the atomization improvements, and also the pattern shapes, widths and sizes, which are brand new to the Series 2 range of spray guns. So thanks for watching the Ernest Iwata Refinish YouTube channel, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Active with newest technology, Ernest Iwata.